everybody, welcome to Hey We're Talking. It's Friday, and we started to talk about something actually off the air. And I told Derek, this is a great topic. Derek, kind of lay the foundation. You're talking about something in your neck of the woods. Tell us, lead us down the path. By the way, Bob Peel's here, Derek Tance here,
Hi.
Scott's here. What's up?
Bob, why don't you lift up what you're drinking? The bottle.
Yeah.
I've got a bottle of Buffalo Trace. It's 750 mil Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
So how much did you pay for that?
I probably paid $24 for it, I think, on sale.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
Not bad, actually. That was a good price.
I'd
usually,
say
I
between
think
25 and 30 is.
yeah.
in the
Usually,
right.
I think it's closer to 30, but I happened to get this bottle on sale, so I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because liquor stores sell bourbons, and they charge a wide variety of prices at certain places. But I would say, in general, most places keep it pretty average. There's like there's a narrow range where the prices go between. Sometimes some liquor stores are good on certain products, and sometimes they're better, or sometimes they're bad on certain price ranges.
Yeah.
So there's a liquor store in town, and the guy has a good selection, and most of his prices, I would say most of his prices for most of his products are very reasonable. But anytime a whiskey gets any kind of hype behind it,
Yeah.
this dude loves to jack the price up.
Yep.
And it was, I know the Henry McKenna bottled in bond was just recently named best whiskey in the world.
Yeah.
That's
And
something.
it shot up too. I got it before it went up.
I don't even know what this guy's charging. I know what it was is about $30, $31, $32. This guy would charge. But he put he moved that Henry McKenna 10-year bottled in bond he moved it to the glass case up front with the good stuff.
Ooh, and how much?
I don't know how much. I was afraid to ask.
But the Buffalo Trace.
But the Buffalo Trace. Now, for some places, some people have a hard time in Texas getting hold of like the Buffalo Trace products.
Yeah.
So Bob pays $24 for a 750 ml bottle of it, and that's about what we pay around here in most stores. Most stores carry it, and it's and it's in the mid-20s. This guy was selling it for $43.
Oh my gosh!
On the shelf.
So here's the little bit. I don't know a lot about how the liquor license and all this stuff is how it plays out everywhere, but I know for a lot of places, being bars and liquor stores, there's no negotiation on the price. Whoever the liquor distributor is gives you it for whatever price they set. And it can change. It can vary from month to month or whenever your shipments are, week to week or whatever. So a lot of these stores want to keep whatever percentage markup they have regardless.
Yeah.
So if they're paying $20 for a bottle and they're marking it up 10%, well, guess what? That's what it is. If they're paying $40 for a bottle and they mark it up 10%, that's what it's going to be.
Sure.
So it may have something to do with the liquor license that they have, or it may be straight up gouging. So you guys have seen, and we've talked about Bourbon County. It's produced by Goose Island here in Chicago. This bottle happens to be from 2015, but we have one local liquor store before we got a Benny's, which is like your guys' Total Wine or whatever your big box, liquor store is.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah. Everyone's going to have something different. But here in Chicagoland, we have Benny's. Before we got Benny's, I had to go to the one specific store for a lot of my craft beer. I have a liquor store like literally a minute away, but they didn't have a variety of craft beer. So going to this big local liquor store, not the Benny's, but just some regular name store, privately owned, he'd be selling these bottles of Bourbon County for $16
for one bottle.
Okay, for one bottle, but it's Bourbon County. It comes out once a year, so you expect to pay a little bit more for one bottle. But I go to my local mom and pop shop, small time, 1 minute away, that doesn't have a beer selection but gets Bourbon County, and I pay $13 for it.
Really?
So a 5-minute drive across town, it's $3 more per bottle, which doesn't make sense. But some people are greedy. Some people want to, just charge more because they know it's in demand right now. And then some people are just like, hey, this is another product that we got. We're making our money off of it either way. We're not going to scam our customers.
Yeah, I would think that the bigger store would be the one that would not price gouge.
Yeah,
That'd
and Benny's, which is our big store.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cheap,
buying
like
in
this
bulk
mom and pop.
too. You have to remember that. Like
So
Benny's has
that-
got tons of stores.
So that's the other piece of it when it comes to a liquor license and stuff like that. The more you buy, the better pricing you
Right.
get.
Well,
So-
let me ask you this, Bob. I'm gonna give you a very extreme example, but I swear this was in person, verified.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
I'm waiting, Derek.
So the liquor store, there's Eagle Rare it's a bottle of it's a
It's a
booze
bourbon.
bottle.
It's made
It's a
by
bourbon.
Buffalo Trace. Yeah.
Buffalo Trace makes it. It's the same recipe as Buffalo Trace. It's like
Yep.
it's basically 10-year-old Buffalo Trace is all
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Better,
But it's really good.
Better. It's good stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Generally about $30 a bottle.
Yeah.
Sometimes 28, whatever. I went to a store today and bought a bottle of Eagle Rare today for $31.
Okay.
All right.
Good price.
So
price.
it's a good price. Across town, like 3 or 4 miles away, at the other liquor store in question,
Mm-hmm.
that guy is carrying Eagle Rare for he's selling it for $100.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
you can-
ridiculous.
is that price gouging?
Now you
Well,
told
yeah.
us,
Of course-
but
of
you
course
told
it
us.
is.
You told us during when we were talking about this before, though. He said something to you about like he's checking prices on. He said eBay or something like that.
Yeah, this guy he like also like Booker's.
Yeah.
You guys have heard of Booker's?
Yeah. It's tough.
It's
That
like,
one's hard to get.
It's not even hard to get. That's
Really?
basically it's Jim Beam. It's like barrel strength Jim Beam, and they sell it in the fancy little.
But they do all sorts of different flavors of it, though. It's like all these different Bookers. There's
yeah, they
not
do
just
a
one.
It's a quarterly release.
Yeah.
is what it is, and they sell it in a nice wooden.
Yep.
It's like a nice gift set.
Yeah.
Now it's gone up in price to about between around $50 and $60.
Okay.
All right. So Booker's at that store in question, he'd been pricing it $68. Well, just a couple months ago, he changed it from 68 to 108.
Oh my gosh.
And I asked him, like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, it's going for, they're pricing it on eBay higher or
can't
So-
buy
so
liquor on
something.
eBay. Go
No,
ahead.
so here's the thing. If I were to take this is a 2015 Bourbon County.
Yeah.
So we're in 2019, so it's got 4 years on it.
You could sell that for way more than you purchased it for, I bet.
Of course I can. So if I were to put this on eBay right now, I'd probably put it up there for $75. Buy it now, and
You
then
think
I would.
somebody would buy it?
You'd be surprised. They buy empty bottles for $20, $30, $40.
Get out
Empty
here.
bottles with a cap on.
Why?
I've got one sitting right here. Let me grab it just to prove it.
Who is buying an empty bottle
So-
of Bourbon County?
So this is an empty bottle with the cap on, as you can see. Bottle's
So
empty.
you just basically re-put the cap on yourself, or were you careful when you popped it off?
You're very careful when you pop it off, and you could put it on eBay and sell the bottle, just an empty bottle. People like it for collecting things. So I would put this up there for $75. Buy it now for a full bottle, and then I would possibly start the bidding at $20 or something. So this guy Derek is probably looking at the buy it now price,
yeah.
saying, "Hey, if somebody is stupid enough to pay $75 for this bottle, sure, I'm going to take it."
So you
And
guys
the
are telling me that you can buy liquor on eBay.
if you with liquor or
collectors,
tobacco,
right?
it's a collector's item,
Oh my gosh.
unopened collector's item. You have to list it like that or else it'll get pulled. But the thing is, he's probably taking like the buy it now price. That doesn't mean it's going to sell for that price, and he's jacking it up. So one thing in business, and I don't have to say this, but I'm just going to, but you have to know your market. You have to know who you're selling to. You have to know your clientele. And if your clientele is not going to pay $100 for it, and you personally value it at $100 because you want that markup, that's stupid business. If you can mark it up a little bit more than normal to make a little bit more profit, but knowing your market will spend that amount of money on it, sure, do it. But you can't go crazy like that, because that bottle is going to sit there for the next 3 months, and then he's going to put it back on the shelf for $27.
Or what's going to happen is some person that knows nothing about bourbon will walk in there and they'll be like, "Oh, this is probably really good. It's $100 bottle of bourbon. I'm going to buy it for Joey for his birthday."
That could happen too.
Right.
I think also, that liquor store is at the crossroads of basically the interstate that goes through east to west, and then like a U.S. highway that goes north-south.
Okay.
And we're in the middle of oil field country. And so you get a lot of guys with huge paychecks to burn sometimes.
Right.
And so they
don't even care. They're just like, I want some.
They might just, the dude's probably going to sell it, and good for him, whatever,
but you don't have to pay it, obviously.
Yeah. But it makes no, I mean, it's ridiculous. I think it's kind of like this guy's tracking the secondary market and trying to charge secondary market prices at a retail shop
for something that's not secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
and it's not even secondary, because it's secondary prices in places other than Texas. Like, right. If there's, I know a lot of these Buffalo Trace products are hard to get in, other states, and like, it's hard to find Buffalo Trace. It's hard to get Weller Special Reserve. That's what we have here too. And he's charging crazy prices for Weller, and every other liquor store in town has it at normal prices, a $7.50 for like $24, a handle for, $40. This dude's charging like $88 for a handle of Weller Special Reserve, and we have it, in town. I don't know.
Don't be surprised if you drive by there one day and the doors are closed.
I don't know. It's busy. I don't know what this guy. He's got a great location, I guess, and he stays busy. And like I said, most of he's got a good selection on other whiskeys I've bought from him, but it's like I don't understand why he's trying to charge secondary prices, like like the secondary market in California, I guess, is dictating what this guy is charging.
Or in
Texas.
some dry county in Tennessee or something where you can't get anything. How about you listeners? I'm going to throw that out to you guys. Throw it in the comments below. Do you have this big price discrepancy between liquor stores, maybe across town, a few miles apart? Do you find that somebody's just gouging or something like that? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah. Guys.
Okay. So in Michigan, I'm in a group on Facebook. It's just like the Michigan Bourbon Club or something like that. And
he's in every group. My township group, my bourbon group here in Michigan.
But in the Michigan Bourbon group, there are people showing, like, they go to stores and they take pictures of these outrageous prices, and it's all over the place, man. It's not just. I think it's just a thing because bourbon is so hot right now. Bourbon is like the king of alcohol right now. Everybody wants bourbon, and they're paying huge prices for it. And but there's a thing on the Michigan government website. You can actually download state minimum, so you can know what it should be priced. And a lot of places will just sell it at the state minimum. They don't mark it up like these other places. But there are tons of places that are selling. The other thing, and I think, Derek, you talked about this too, is like the kind of the next step up is like if somebody, that liquor store you go to will go to Buffalo Trace and pick out their own barrels, right? And then they put a sticker on the back of it that's like, hey, the blah, blah, blah store, or people come up with interesting little funny things that they put on the back of these things, and they sell them because it's their own special, barrels that they picked out. Yeah. They charge more for it. So there's that stuff too. So now that's a whole an entire another market of people that are another market of things that people are trying to jack the prices up on. And hey, look, I picked this out myself and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know if it really matters that much, to be honest with you. I don't know if there's a really super distinct difference, but that's the other thing.
All of our prices are going to change here in Illinois, and I don't want to get super political or anything, but our governor our governor has decided, and it hasn't passed yet, but it probably will, that there needs to be more taxes on craft beer.
Oh my
there needs to be more taxes on wine and spirits, which obviously is going to affect, everything everything I purchase here.
Sure.
So, I mean, one of the craft breweries said, hey, I already pay a city tax, a county tax, a state tax, and a federal tax.
Yeah.
I can't pay much. How much more can I pay?
This is basically like why the people threw the tea back into the freaking Boston Harbor, man. This is ridiculous. It's like England was taxing the crap out of the Americans, and they finally have had enough.
So it's just an interesting thing that, I'm going to enjoy the prices now, and I'm going to stock up a little bit over the next, basically until 2020 for the remainder of the year, because at the beginning of the year, I don't know where these prices are going to go. If they add another tax onto it, it's going to be higher, all the prices are going to go up, and these companies, they need to be profitable. They're going to be profitable, and they're only going to absorb so much of it. So it's like this bottle that I got for $24 could wind up being $34.
Sure.
So it's you don't know.
Like we need to move to a place where there's no income tax, like Texas.
Hey man.
Yeah.
Hey man, I got 2 years. 2 years. My son's, he's in his final days of his sophomore year, and I'm just waiting until he graduates, and then we're gone. We'll be out of this state.
If they let you. If they don't do that thing like they're doing to people in New York,
they're
taxing
talking about
the crap out of them.
They're talking about adding a leave tax because Illinois has lost more people over the last 5 years, year over year, than any other state. More people are leaving Illinois than any other state. So they're talking about adding a tax for people that leave the state.
Yeah.
How are they going to enforce that?
I don't know. Chase you down, man.
Well, what they'll do, how they're going to enforce that is when you move and you file your taxes the next year. Well, no. Let's say you sell your house, all that stuff. What happens is when you file your taxes the next year, that's where they're going to penalize you, because you have to say, hey, I lived in Illinois for part of this year. Now I've lived in this new state for part of this year, and that's where they're going to get you. So it's a mess. But
it's ridiculous.
I mean, so I worry about that, but like I said, that's why I'm going to stock up a little bit as the year progresses and see what happens.
And I'm trying to remember the guy's name, the crazy radio dude. Dang it. He's a Mormon guy.
Donald Trump.
No, this Mormon dude. I can't remember his name. Dang it. Anyway, he started his own. No, are you stupid?
Kaylee, do you know who he is? Oh, sorry.
Howard
You guys are no. He's Jewish.
Could be Mormon.
No.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
All right, I'm done. I give
well,
up.
I mean, you started talking something.
I know, and then you started throwing all these things at me. I'm an old man. I get confused easily.
Your hair is definitely
What I was
gray.
going to say is this guy, Glenn Beck, told everybody back in the day that they should buy ammo and alcohol because that would be how you could, when the financial market collapses, you'll be able to trade for things with alcohol and ammo. And Mormons don't drink alcohol, so it would be strictly for bartering.
They drink ammo. That's all.
They don't drink ammo either.
From what I've seen in all my investigations, there's a huge opioid epidemic going on in the Mormon community.
There's an opioid epidemic all over the country. Bro.
Well, I mean, it's bad in that community because they don't drink alcohol, but
or caffeine.
Obviously, other issues going on.
No caffeine either.
I don't know how you could live without caffeine.
People do. You can.
I can't.
No, it's fun.
No,
to have it.
I would die.
Do it.
No, my body would break down.
No, it would not.
It
Ridiculous.
probably would.
You're making a silly statement.
No, I think I would probably die
How
or
much,
kill
how
somebody.
much coffee do you drink in a day?
over 50 ounces a day.
How do you keep track of how many ounces of coffee? Do you have like a mug that's like a certain ounces or something?
He has an ounce-o-meter.
I've got a big. I brew a full pot of coffee, which is 40 ounces, and I put that in a thermos, and I take
and you
that.
Just take that to work?
Yeah, and I drink that all day, and then but when I wake up, my wife had already made coffee
from the
because we brew 2 pots of coffee
up.
a day. So she has leftover coffee that's still warm in my amazing coffee maker. So I drink whatever's left of hers. So I get, excuse me, 40 ounces of my own that I brew fresh with my Numa coffee. Speaking of coffee.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Go to pneuma.com, Numa Coffee. Get some amazing coffee. That's what I'm drinking. Type in the coupon code HWT, get 20% off. Guatemalan Rio Ocho, great coffee, super awesome. They've got so much coffee that is so good. Go check them out.
Y'all need to let me do when we do Monday show this week. You should let me do the commercial
for next week. All right, we will.
No, for this week.
That's totally great, Derek. We'll totally do that.
Yeah, no problem.
Is your story done? No, go ahead.
No, so I drink my 40 ounces of coffee that I brew fresh, and then I have whatever's left over of my wife. So I'm at least 54, maybe 60 ounces of coffee a day, which is full of wonderful caffeine.
You go straight black?
Sometimes I go black. Sometimes I go a dash of creamer.
Okay.
Sometimes I go cream and sugar.
Sound like Derek.
All depends on the mood.
A splash of half and half.
It all depends on the mood, I guess. Okay. Some days I'm angry, and then I just drink black coffee.
Really? When you're angry? Why when you're angry?
Don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to explore that someday. All right. On that note, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.